Welcome back to the Unanimous Decision Podcast. I'm your host, DPalm. Follow me on Twitter at DPalm66. Follow the show on Twitter at UDPod and follow the entire MTR Network on Twitter at the MTR Network. You found us, don't lose us. Make sure you subscribe in the iTunes Store. Subscribe everywhere podcasts are given away for absolutely free. I know what you're saying. Hey, you subscribe already to the main MTR feed. You're going to get all the content, right? Probably. But I want to be honest. We put out way too much stuff, so I know things can slip through the cracks. So the best way to make sure you're getting the 100% of the performance-handling audio that you want, you subscribe to the Unanimous Decision feed. That way you'll get all the main shows, all the side shows, all the maybe the one-offs we'll do, and more of these, which I'm going to describe what I'm doing in a second here. You found us, don't lose us, subscribe, leave those 5-star reviews. They help the show, they help the entire network, and it allows your voice to be heard on the show. If you have something else you want to say doesn't fit in a review, or you've already left one, you can email us at udpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure you go across social media with MTR, because we've got the MTR Facebook group. If you like us, all the conversations we're having, you'll love the group. We have all kinds of fun in there. Also, we know the YouTube channel is up. I know the UDPod YouTube channel is up, and Chris and I actually talked for about an hour this week on different ways I can use this in the year 2018. And I'm pretty excited for the things we're going to try and probably embarrass ourselves at, but at least we're going to try it. And lastly, make sure you visit the MTR store, get all your Black Panther stuff. I know the movie's about to come out, and we've got the brand new shirt just dropped in the store, Wakanda Forever. And you can also buy your Blame Chris shirts, because everything bad that happens in life is probably Chris's fault. That is all the intro I'm going to do today. So what we're doing here is, I know I mentioned on the podcast going into the new year that I wanted to try some new things. And one of those things I wanted to try was honing my, and I'm going to have our guests not laugh at this, skills or attempted skills as an interviewer, and try to do something different for the podcast. So once or twice a month, I'm going to be bringing these the title is tentatives. Right now they're called Dope Talks, but it's just me getting to speak with someone in my life who does something cool. I've had a pretty interesting life because the people around me have been very interesting, and I would love to share that with you guys, because I think it's a great insight into just kind of the world around us. And also, there's no way I was doing a preview for Eagles Patriots. This is going to come out on Monday. I hope the stadium opened up, swallowed both teams whole, and there was no Super Bowl winner. Maybe we can retroactively award the Falcons from last year. I don't know. I'm up for the debate. Today, we're going to start, as I do all my ventures apparently on the MTR Network, with family. UDPod 1, guest starred my father, and the first Dope Talk is with my ultra-talented younger brother, Matt Palmer. How you doing, Matt?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thanks.
Do you not have to answer? Is that how it goes?
That's fine. So the reason I've had Matt on today is because, for those of you who don't know, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, he is a musician in LA, and he's currently in the midst of releasing his latest project, a visual EP titled Get Lost. And I pause because I keep screwing up the title, because I have only so much brain space, and Get Out, winning all these Oscar noms, and dominating it. But no, Get Lost is the visual EP. The title track came out this past Thursday, right?
That is correct. Well, I guess the video came out Thursday. The song came out Friday.
Okay, cool. All right, so I want to talk to you about that. I want to talk to you about things that I know the answers to, about kind of the musical thing, how it happened, and how the good Lord did you end up so talented when all I do is talk, and for some reason people listen. But yeah, let's start there, I guess. Music. This is interesting because I know the answers to these questions. Has it always been a part of your life, Matt?
What do you think? Do you think so? I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember singing a lot or anything as a kid. I was very.
This is a guy. This is a young man who built a recording studio in a spare bedroom upstairs that wasn't exactly soundproof. So I was gifted I'd say the rough draft of what we're getting today. Is that fair?
Sure. Yeah. I feel like you lucked out in that, and you're welcome.
But no, seriously, what was there? Is there a moment or is a certain influence that made you go from saying I love music to I want to make that?
Well, obviously, I grew up loving people like Michael Jackson, people like Mariah Carey, loved their music and their artistry, and I don't know, I felt like that was always what I wanted to do. It was like everyone, I felt like we both grew up having our obsessions and things that we cared a lot about, and mine was pop and R&B music, and like that was all that I really focused on. I collected, I like studied, and so it just was as soon as like home studios became a thing that could be done, that was when I started trying to convince our mom to do that for, instead of getting a car, I got a keyboard. So that was a choice I made.
That was a choice you made.
Yeah.
It's still a choice that's always the example I give when people say, how long was Matt doing music? I would say, well, he was pretty serious, and then I knew he was serious because he gave up a car.
I mean, you got to prioritize. And I knew you were leaving. What were you going to do with that car?
That's fair. We're not going to get into how you drive a car or if you get in behind the wheel of a car. We're going to move on past those things. But I do want to add, no, this is actually serious, something I don't actually know. Because you said that it went from a love to kind of an obsession to something that you wanted to be involved with. Was something that's it's always I've kind of always admired about you was kind of you've always not just known, but you would never be deterred to the point where there was an incident over Thanksgiving about your applications to colleges or lack thereof. What fed that unerring confidence?
I don't know that it was confidence as much as it was this is like the only thing that I care about and that I'm like kind of good at.
Your stubbornness.
It's just like this is what I do. Like it wasn't like, oh, I know I'm like the most talented person in the world. It's just like, oh, this is what I care about, and this is like my favorite way of expressing myself, and I get a lot of enjoyment, and it brings me such happiness that like there's of course I should be doing this. It just like made sense, I guess. I realize that it's improbable. It's hard to make a living and a career as a singer and a songwriter, but it's like if this is what I care about doing, I should at least see it through as much as I can.
That's very fair. So let's talk about how you got started. Growing up, you were always involved in different choirs. I know you got to sing for the Pope at the Vatican, which is pretty amazing. I know the interesting thing for me was watching you marry not just the talent stuff. Obviously, you have talent, and obviously you worked very hard at cultivating that talent, but you also transformed that in the shrewd business sense that I know you have, because by the end of your career in high school, you had turned the men's a cappella group into a CD producing money making machine.
Well, the money went to charity, just so we're clear. But yes.
I've never questioned that. You volunteered that. You didn't say what happened to the money. Let's just talk about let's talk about the marriage of art and commerce early. Not saying that you're that focused on, but it's something that kids who say they want to sing don't often think about.
Right. I mean, I worry I'm going to talk about Mariah Carey a lot here, but
no, you are. I didn't prep these people. They're going to be exposed to you this way.
Half of the fun of following her, at least at that time, was, the sales, the statistics of it all. Like, it's kind of from what I glean of people who like baseball, it's fun to watch, their player beat records and watch, the batting average go up or whatever it is. And to see Mariah Carey come out with so many number one hits, like more than Elvis at this point, just less than the Beatles. It's fun to follow. Like, it's like kind of invigorating. It's very much like how sports make sense to me. It's like, okay, you're rooting for your team because they're your team, they're who you're loyal to. And, her trump card, or part of like what made her so exciting to me, was that she had all of these statistics and all the success that was, not only just creative success, but commercial success that was fun to follow, just fun to see the consistency and how that happens. And, obviously that wanes for literally every artist who ages, which is everyone, but it's still like, it's a fun ride to watch. And so I thought, if people could at any point be interested in purchasing something that I made, I feel like there is something that is mutually beneficial. Like clearly I will be able to express, and hopefully someone that listens to it will be happy and be, given joy from that. And then hopefully if there's a way that I can live off of this, that's, icing on the cake. So we're still working our way to that point, but it's something that is it was a part of my growing up and picking one of the most popular artists in the world to be an inspiration. Is it's like, yeah, she liked to challenge herself. She liked being number one and having commercial success along with creative. So it's cool.
You're like a weird stat junkie.
It's exciting.
You're like a Kobe Bryant fan who's like, look at all these points. Like, but no one likes it. I mean, Mariah Carey sells albums. But I'm just kidding. No, please don't. I don't want to.
I mean, you started it. I didn't say anything.
Let's not do that on the show. Let's stay focused for 2 seconds.
Okay.
But that's really interesting. So I mentioned college. Most people apply to colleges based on where their friends go or where a football team is, because from what I'm learning, or where they get the best education, which is fewer people than we think. You chose to apply to one of the most exclusive music programs in the world.
Well, yeah, when I was applying to college, there weren't a lot of recorded music schools. I feel like it's more of a thing now, at least from my understanding, because obviously home studios are more accessible. Right. But I think I was the third class at the Clive Davis Department of Recorded Music at NYU, and that was, I don't know, I just researched, like, where could I learn how to create music and, like, sharpen my talents and, like, figure out what I'm best at, and, like, that place made the most sense. So that's where I applied. Hello.
You got it. No. I think you're underselling it. It's so funny because you're saying it the way you're saying it, but you applied, yeah. But let's be realistic. What was the chances of getting in, not accounting for your individual talent?
I don't know how many people applied, but it was a 24-person program. I'm not sure if that number has gone up or down, but I mean, I guess thinking logically, the chances were slim.
Okay.
But
thank you. I wanted you to say that because I think Mom's going to listen to this.
Okay.
I need you to have it on record. So after Clive Davis, you still, I know a lot of people go to school for one thing and get burned out and don't want to do it anymore. Mm-hmm. But you like redoubled your love into music, and then we see you grow as an artist in New York. You move to the West Coast, and now we arrive at this place with Get Lost. Mm-hmm. What's the elevator pitch for Get Lost? What's the idea behind the project?
The idea behind the project is when I have released music in the past, I have been signed to publishing companies and to I've licensed my music to record labels in Japan. So I've done the music thing, the album thing, and like have done it in a lot of different ways. The last time I did it pretty much all independently and realized that the most, obviously the most watched and the most, press garnering things that I would ever put out were the visuals. Like having a visual attached to a song makes it all the more impactful. And especially in, obviously you see Lemonade and you're like, oh, it's like I can't listen to the album without wanting to watch it. And the place that I've had most success is on YouTube, just like getting my word out there, getting, my songs out there. So my thought was, okay, if we were to shoot a video for every song and were to make it somewhat of a narrative and release them 1 week at a time, it's like, okay, so that means there are 7 songs, there are 7 premieres that we can pitch to these websites or like, places that can premiere things. And it kind of extends the life of the project. Because if you're like, oh, I have my one video, we're going to put it out and like people talk about it for like 4 or 5 days. And then you just have to hope people keep watching it or hope people keep finding it. But if I release it kind of like a web series where it's like, okay, every week we're going to get another piece of the story. You're going to see how it goes. We're hoping that, a few of them have like kind of cliffhangers. They'll make people want to come back and watch. I feel like that adds to the appeal of wanting to see it. Because, obviously I think the songs are good, but like, again, not to toot my own horn, my songs, like I feel have been good for a minute. And to get people watching and to get people engaged in you, I feel like there needs to be a visual connection as well as an oral connection at this point.
Is that kind of the? I mean, obviously that's the idea, is to create that hook to bring people to the music. Mm-hmm. Do you find that in 2018, would someone like a Mariah Carey really have the same success with that same model, or is it changed so drastically that not even overwhelming talent would win out?
I think it is hard to get someone to sit down and listen to a full 12 to 15 track album unless you're a superstar. So that's why, because we're living in the age of Spotify where, everything's a playlist. You're just putting out songs trying to get some bites. But I very much grew up on albums. I very much like the idea of one story being told or like having one specific vision. And I can cut down the tracks, but I kind of can't. I couldn't imagine just doing one-off singles every once in a while like that to me that are like so disjointed. So I felt like this is kind of a happy medium where I can be, creatively satisfied and still it can be commercially viable.
I think it's so wild that you and I are, we're very different people, but we also have so much in common because I'm the exact same way with albums because my wife Susan, she'll put on a mixtape or a mix or a Spotify playlist that's mixed up. Like that's great, but I would love to hear like one of these artists' entire point of view explaining me over 12 tracks.
Right, because it's like then you get the whole vision and like songs that you
know the artist.
Yeah, songs that you don't think you like, by themselves make more sense in their own in an album or in an EP that has a vision like that. And I don't know. I just maybe this is just me being old, but I just can't. I like that idea still.
So we're on week 2 of the release, and we've hit the title track. So take us through the story so far. I know you said it's kind of a loose narrative, but I think it's something you could really. For me, it's got me kind of hooked.
Good. That's the point. That's the goal. So in the first video, the song is called Solo Act, and if you listen to the song alone, it's kind of a little more melancholy. It's up tempo, but it's kind of a song about like a fear of commitment kind of thing. And being the person that's like, oh, I don't want to get too far into this. But the video's a lot more fun. It's kind of just like a more exciting and up tempo kind of visual attached to it. And it's like I go on these dates with these 3 guys, and they aren't the right kind of person for me. And we kind of have the same date, like my character or whatever it is. Has like spots that I would go to. I'd go to the same bar, the same movie theater, and like you see the 3 people interacting with me in those separate dates. And then at the end, I meet this guy that who at this point like seems like the guy that I should be with, and so we end that video with us leaving the date, and we open the next video with us going into a party. We then go into a party. This second song, Get Lost. We go into a party, meeting all of his friends. And I end up doing a drug, which I got some mean comments about today, which is fine. but and like basically I have a bad trip, and it just like goes from there. But it kind of ends on like it kind of is like another funny watch, a kind of lighthearted. I fall in a pool and he saves me, and then we kind of end right there. And so it's just like it's kind of still in the honeymoon phase. It's like right. Some weird stuff has happened. We're taking drugs on our first date at a party where I don't know where I am. But like, it's like,
it's but you don't have to think that hard about it.
That's true. It's true. And if you keep watching, it's like things are going to change. And the reason, there's a reason why these first, I would say 3 tracks are really up. Like even though the first one can be lyrically kind of melancholy, it's because, kind of not to spoil, but like kind of takes a turn midway, and like you get to explore different sides, but you don't want to hook someone in with like, get ready to cry, like get ready for some sad shit. So I thought it would be best to like have it be something fun. I want people smiling at the end of these first.
You'd be amazed because DC decided to open Batman vs Superman with a funeral and close with a funeral. So not everyone ascribes to that way of thinking. I'd say that your way probably hooks a bit more people.
I would hope so.
Me too. See, I have to fight now. The big brother in me wants to know more about the mean comments, honestly.
But it was basically just like, oh, how dare you make gay content with drugs in it? Like you're glamorizing this. I'm like, did you watch the rest of the video? Like nothing good happened to me after that. But, everyone has their opinions.
That's actually something I want to ask about because you're very, how do you say this weirdly? You're not quietly out as an artist. Like it's part of your definition of who you are as a person and as an artist.
Yeah.
Do you feel, and this is wild because I don't think we ever talked about this, do you feel any sort of, I guess, representational commitment because like those comments that came?
Right. I mean, truly no. Maybe, but then maybe I should. I truly didn't even think about it. To me, this is a story that's being told. To me, it did not read. I don't even like, I'm not like a drug user generally. Like, it's not like I am, and I don't feel like the video glamorized it either. And,
Not
I
at all.
think just if my whole thing, there was a point in my life where like I wasn't out musically and I was out personally, and it all just felt so like it just didn't match up. It's like this is one person that you're dealing with, and like this is me in different moods, but it's me everywhere. So let's just have it be one thing and not have to try to split off my life into these two sectors. It just like life doesn't work that way. So if I'm gonna be a gay person and I make music, then like in that, even though to me I don't think my music's like particularly gay, whatever that means, it's just like, well, if gay people are the first people that are going to see it, and if that's who I'm representing, then sure, I'm fine with doing that. I feel like I have nothing to be ashamed of in these videos, and nothing that I think is a bad representation. But it's like, as a gay black person, it's like I'm supposed to be. I kind of have given up the idea of representing an entire community, because it's not going to happen. Someone's going to be upset with me. Someone's not going to like it, and it's like, well, that's all right. Thank you for watching. A views of you.
I hate watching 10 times. Awesome.
Great. I will take that.
Could you possibly get madder? I don't know. Maybe share your anger with friends. No, but that's cool, man. So after making that decision to be, like you said, to live to be as you are as a person, be an out artist, was there any sort of pushback from, like you said, you've been signed to publishing companies before and labels before. Was there any sort of resistance on their end?
Well, it was after I was with the publishing company, so I left them, and but then I pitched an extended version of that album where I'm singing about guys to a Japanese label, and they didn't say anything. Like, they saw the videos, they've seen, saw everything, and they were like, great, we'll add a couple more songs, we'll put it out. And people, from across, from Japan and parts of Asia really got drawn to some of the songs, especially Breakup, which has a video where I have a male love interest. So, I mean, I think something's going to find its audience either way, so no one's balked at me about it, but you never know. It could happen.
There you go. But I think it's good that you've had the good experiences, but you don't have the rose-colored glasses that this is not how the world's always going to be. No one's ever going to be.
Right. No, I feel like there was a producer maybe that I was like, oh, I'd like you to produce this song. Here it is. And they were like, oh, I don't feel comfortable doing this. And I was like, okay, end of conversation. Like, don't, I wouldn't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but it's also like, well, I don't actually very much care.
My time, so.
No.
Exactly. Well, I know that you're like me. You're kind of and I'm using this term in a very loving manner, control freak. What was it like to add the visual component, knowing that your forte is generally the audio side? Like, I know you've always had a vision and a lot of input, but I imagine just the sheer volume of work, you had to kind of release your hands on the reins some.
Right. It's fine. No
one believes that. No one believes.
No, I have worked with this director before, and he is someone that I really trust and respect, and like, he's done great work with me before. And so his name is Ryan Bartley. His website's ryanpatrickbartley.com. He is a very talented director, and I met him through my roommate because my roommate's an actor, Matt Steele, and he cast him in a music video. And I thought that it was really well shot and really well put together. So I reached out to him a couple years ago. So I trust his director's eye. I trust his vision. There were things in the process, of course, I feel like in any sort of collaborative, creative environment, there's going to be that we butted heads about. And there were things that I compromised on and things that he compromised on. And we both had like different hard lines. Like, I really feel strongly about this. And so
I know you kept score, didn't you?
No, I didn't keep score, but there were just certain things I'm like, well, I'm not going to let this go. So
I'm going to let you live in that lie on this podcast, but you and I know you kept score.
I don't believe I kept score. I had in my heart, I knew I could like say something. I'm paying for it, at the end of the day. But we never. We never got to the point where I had to verbally say that. Like, we'd call in a cinematographer, and eventually we'd all land on my idea. I'm thinking of one specific thing. And It was like, that worked out and was fine. Everything else, I've made compromises. I've bent. I like things a certain way, but I can bend. But I also had more of a hands-on part of the visuals than even I expected to. Like the video that's coming out next week, it's like a lot of it shot on cell phones. And so we didn't want to pay a colorist to go through and color, just iPhone footage for, however much money. So I, went through not frame by frame, but like shot by shot and did the coloring myself on Final Cut just because, if it had to be done and someone had to do it. And so it's like, sure, if I can do this, there are special effects in some of these videos that like I literally cannot do. So if this is something that'll take time off of someone else's hands that like I can be comfortable doing, then I'll just do it.
That's great. That's a lot of growth out of you, because that's what you described as true collaboration. I don't know what happened. What you described was true collaboration.
I can collaborate. I'm not complete. I like things a certain way, but I feel like luckily we all have a high standard, so it's going to be fine.
There you go. Well, before we get out of here, and we've talked about a lot of things that you and I don't have in common because I possessed of no musical talent.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to agree so fast. That was mean. I do want to talk about something we have in common, because you podcast is strong. Vlog? You're a YouTuber.
Oh, I do. Yes. Yeah.
And could you please talk about Matt Steele and this show that everyone should be watching? It's 2 Gay Matts on YouTube. Matt, you got to tell them about it.
It's very fun. It's kind of a way to, connect with people on a different wavelength. He is an actor and a movie buff, and I am a singer-songwriter and, obviously pop music fan. So it's just fun because at least it started out, we were kind of exposing each other to our different loves. We've kind of together gotten to a point in our, I know enough about musical theater now and he knows enough about pop music that like we can speak semi-intelligently on each other's points of view. So yeah, we just like find topics that we think people will find interesting and kind of rant about it for 15, 20 minutes. And it's just so much fun to do. It's so easy to bounce something off of another person and just edit it together. I feel like half of the fun of the show is just our interactions, no matter what we're talking about. I think it's crazy that you do this alone. Like the idea of doing something and just like, oh, I'm just going to talk now for like however long is insane to me. So kudos to you on that. But yeah, it's just like a fun way to, to create your own content and have it be regular and fun and not take up so much time. Because it's like I've done a lot of covers, but to me, honestly, I've not to like, talk negatively of things I've done, but like I'm never creatively fulfilled by covers. It takes a long time. And there's a weird part of YouTube culture where it's like, okay, well, if you want the most views or you want the most subscribers, you need to be the first person to put this cover up. So it's not like I can like spend my time and like perfect everything and make it look how I want it to look. It's like, oh no, just be the first one to put it up and you'll get the most traffic. And it's like a weird rat race that's like not as fun as putting out your own music. So but like reacting to like things on the internet and talking about movies or albums or TV shows that we care about is much easier and much more fun than trying to do like a cover a week or something, which would just be a headache.
So we're actually going to be dropping this on the Monday after the Super Bowl. One of my favorite videos you ever did was the reaction video to last year's Super Bowl halftime performance.
Yes. Yeah.
Ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, that was like, and I know you guys reacted appropriately, but let's talk now, a year later, ridiculous.
I mean, truly, I feel like we have more ridiculous videos. Like, I kind of feel like that one's middle of the road. I think it was good because we've talked some shit about Lady Gaga because we don't like the whole Joanne thing, and her fans don't like us for that reason. So it was good to see. It was just exciting. I think when Lady Gaga's great, she's really great. And she was great for the first time in a long time, in my opinion. And so I was happy to give her that praise. We're doing that video again on Sunday. And I'm nervous because Justin Timberlake is I used to really love Justin Timberlake, and I don't love what he's doing I don't love what he's doing now. I don't love what he did to Janet. I don't love what he did to Britney. And like, I would like to like this new album, but I feel like there's no like. Did you see? I mean, you saw it, the like trailer for the album where he's like in the woods and Jessica Biel's narrating, and it's just.
In what universe do you think I would have seen this?
I'm pretty sure you did because you tweeted me about it because he's putting out a video a week.
No. I saw the picture. I was like, oh, we're going full MAGA. Like that was my thing. I was like, oh, he's going He's going, I was never ever touched by that darky music. Like that's what he's playing now. He's going full Miley Cyrus. And I was like, well, Matt, you've also got a weekly series of videos. Here's for everyone who doesn't hate brown people. And
That is
honestly,
valid.
despite electoral results, there might be more of the people who don't hate brown people.
You would think. I that is what I'm banking on. I would hope that. I've heard the album leaked. I've heard like it's not great. Like it's just not great. But like maybe his performance will have some redeeming qualities. Maybe he'll bring out Janet. If he brings out Janet, I will say nice things about him. But truly, I dread having. I dread having to do a reaction or review to something that we don't like because it's like I know all of the fans of this person are just gonna find it and just like write rude things to us, which is fine. Like because the other option is just to lie and say I love everything, and like I can't do that. So I just it's up to Justin Timberlake to win me over, and I hope he can.
Well, by the time you're listening to this, the video should be up. Matt, tell them where to find it.
You can find all our 2GayMats stuff on youtube.com/2GayMats. We're on Twitter at 2GayMats, and we're on Instagram at 2GayMats, and I think Facebook at 2GayMats, and written out too, so TWO GayMats.
There you go. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for discussing 2GayMats. It's probably, I love your music, but let's be completely honest, I've been overexposed. But the 2GayMats thing, that's the Matt I always saw growing up when he wasn't trying to be the coolest kid in the room, he was just being goofy Matt Palmer. Like that's the Matt Palmer I know. So I really do appreciate that you put it out for the world to see.
It's fun.
Tell people about Get Lost, man. Tell them where to find it. Tell them and tease us. What's coming up next? We've seen you at the party. You've fallen in the pool. My God,
right.
What twists and turns befall us?
Well, the next one is like kind of a summary of Tempo Jam. So and it's coming out around Valentine's Day. So things go pretty well for like 95% of that video. And then at the end, something may take a turn. Who's to say? But yeah, this is kind of where things switch in the relationship at the end of this next one. And I think it's a song that people really like. When I play people the whole thing, they get really drawn to this song number 3. So I hope people will like it. And you can find all of that on my YouTube, youtube.com/MattPalmerMusic. I'm MattPalmerMusic.com. I'm Matt Palmer Music on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Just it should all be the same thing. Matt Palmer Music. And you'll find me and you'll find Get Lost as well.
Last question. Is this autobiographical, Matthew?
Not it's an amalgamation. It's not about one person. There are certain songs that were inspired by one person, but the entire arc is not autobiographical. Is that okay? Is that a good answer?
Hold on. I was just about to do my outro. You're the one who keeps talking. I don't know. You seem like you say. Thanks for doing this with us. This has been our very first edition of Dope Talk. I am your host, DPalm. Follow me on Twitter at DPalm66. Follow the show on Twitter at UDPod. Follow the entire MTR network at the MTR network, all on Twitter. You can also follow me on Instagram at DPalm66. And we'll be back later this week. Yes, I guess you deserve some sort of football reaction thing. I hate the Eagles. I hate the Patriots. I hope the field swallowed them both whole. That was your show. This is your outro. See you guys next week.